testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for having this hearing. Chairman Pai, Senator Capito talked a little bit about our Broadband Data Improvement Act of 2019. Are you familiar with that bill?
Yes, Senator.
Does your rule replace that bill?
I think it's generally consistent with the purpose. I'd have to fly spec exactly how the terms match up, but I think the overall gist of it is we're on the same page.
Yeah, right on. So in that bill, it says that the FCC will determine a penalty for those willingly and knowingly that submit inaccurate information. We may have enabled bad behavior here with what's gone on already. What kind of penalties are you talking about? Because what kind of penalties would you set up? What's going to be the stick for the bats? Because the truth is, we've all talked about it. The maps were bad. You guys know that. And we'll waste a lot of money if we don't get it scored away. So what kind of penalties are we talking about?
So under current law, the FCC can't administer Title 18, so criminal penalties, but with respect to Title 4 of the Act, the Act specifies certain fines that the FCC can impose for violation of our rules, and that is the tool in the toolbox.
So what kind of fines are we talking about?
It depends on the particular violation. I'd have to get
if somebody gives you bad information, and by the way, we're not talking about putting a man on the moon here, we're talking about wire that goes into a house, okay? It seems to me that they give you bad information, they want to give you bad information. Why? Because they want to cover that area at some point in time. I got no tolerance for it, quite frankly, because we're wasting taxpayer dollars based on somebody who's trying to game the system. So the question is, you're going to put the boots to them, tell me why you're going to do it.
Why we're going to do it is because...
No, not why, but how. I mean, it's got to hurt.
Yeah.
And if they know it's going to hurt going in, they'll give you good information. So the question is what kind of fines are we talking about?
Senator, I have to get you the specific fine threshold, the maximum that's permitted under our rules. But what I can tell you is we've kicked folks out of the program. How much is it? I can't remember the specific number off the top of my head.
Can you guys make it so they can't get grants to put in fiber if they lie to you?
Senator, I've been to the foremost about wanting to kick folks out of the program who've been abusing this system.
Okay, so look, communication is critical, and so I really think it's going to be incumbent upon the FCC and especially you to let the folks know, even with your rule, that if they don't take this stuff seriously, they're going to pay a price. You going to do that?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Thank you.
Chairman Pine, let me, if you could get back to us on the record as to whether that's a possible sanction, the question Senator Tester had.
I'd be happy to do that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so everybody on the commission says that they feel that robocalls should be free. I'm not going to beat the dead horse, but my head will explode if I get a charge. I mean, I may just quit. Okay. So the bottom line is why not just take all doubt away and make it? And if you got to take a comment period, okay, so it takes 60 or 90 days, but at least we know. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. Is if you all think it should be free, we all think it should be free. Make it free. Give certainty. I want to go a little bit off of what Senator Scott talked about, and that's satellite versus fiber, because this is an issue that I've been thinking about for a while, that we're spending millions of dollars. What is it, $1 million a mile to lay in fiber? And that may be obsolete in a few years, and we've pumped in a lot of money. Can you tell me if this is real, and if maybe we're spending money in the wrong spots to lay fiber? Maybe we should be focused on satellite technology and going that route, which I don't really know much about, but it appears to me could be a heck of a lot cheaper. What's the downside?
Well, Senator, assuming the question is directed to me.
Yeah, it is.
Senator, I think it depends on the particular area. Different technologies might work. I think there's a place for fiber. There's a place for satellite. For example, in places like St. Ignatius and Wisdom, where I've been, where you can tell the building season is going to be pretty short. The topological challenges are pretty great. It might cost too much money to get fiber in. So there you might imagine satellite.
Okay, so how do we get there? Because the truth is that, and I think Rosenworcel said it, I mean, we will be left behind. This is access to the internet with high-speed internet connection is what's going to put people back in rural America. And with all the tariff stuff that's going on, we're going to see a mass exodus again because people are going to start going broke. So we've got to figure out how people can have access to the internet in rural America. Why? Because so they can do the same business in in Scobie, Montana that they can in New York City. So the question is how do we encourage the most cost-effective way? And if it's satellites, I'm all for it. Tell me what the downside is of satellites.
One of the concerns that has been expressed about satellite services has been that the latency is not what you would get from a terrestrial provider.
Is there any way we can speed that up?
That's one of the things the new satellite constellations have suggested they'd be able to solve. The latency for some of these low Earth orbit satellites would be much less. It'd be comparable to a terrestrial provider.
Thank you very much. I wish I had another 20 minutes.
Senator, I'd be.
Chairman.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We'll come in and visit some more.
Okay.
Thank you.